Education is a process of bringing about changes in an individual in a desired direction. It is a process of helping a child to develop his potentialities to the maximum and to bring out the best from within the child. The students or the learners are potential human resources required to be developed into educated, sound, skilled, and efficient citizens who will fulfill the aims of social, economical, political, and technological development of the society. And the aim of education is to provide opportunities for personal all-round development of individuals, to equip them with the latest and sound knowledge of science and technology, and also to make them capable of using science and technology for the betterment of human society. So to bring about these changes, we teach them various subjects at different levels of school. Science as a subject is included in the school curriculum from the very beginning. So before taking any decision about teaching science, a science teacher should pause for a while and ask certain questions to oneself, such as, why do we teach them or the children or the students science in the school? What are the goals and objectives of teaching science? What changes does science teaching bring about in the behavior of the students? So I think to get the answer of these questions, this class will be a kind of a underpinnings, a kind of a foundation. So in today's class, we will be having an session on aims of teaching sciences with a special reference to senior secondary schools and its linkages with the primary as well as upper primary and secondary schools. So in this point, first of all, we have to have a very clear-cut idea about the certain terms like aims, goals, and objectives. So aim means usually it is related with the word vision. It's the long-term version, long-term vision. And sometimes it is also called as a mission. Vision means a desired future position, or we can say the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom, mostly with the wisdom. A mission is an important assignment given to a person or group of people for a completion of a particular task. And the goal, another word, the goals. Goals are the broad statements of our intent. Intent means determined to do something. And goals are the broad statements of the direction or the purpose. The purpose is the reason for which something is being done or created, for which something exists. So sometimes you will find the word aims and goals are being used simultaneously, interchangeably. Sometimes you'll find the aims slash goals also it is written. And some of the educationists, they have made the use of these two words, aims and goals, in this way. Like aims are the long-term goals. Long-term goals. And another word, objectives. Objectives are also goals, but they are short-term goals. So here in this particular picture or figure, you can see the objective means the statement that describe specific things to be accomplished to achieve the goal. And this goal word can be further simplified as general guidelines that explained what you want to achieve in your organization or in your community or the society as such. So in this presentation you will find the use of the word like goals as the guiding principles also. So that we'll be dealing in the a little later in this particular class. And before we discuss about the Indian scenario in terms of the science education, in the second semester we had done the I think one study material was sent to you, and it is about the National Science Foundation, which the headquarters of this foundation is located in Washington, USA, and they have very clearly given the 4 different goals of teaching science in the school. And this is also known as the NSF in terms of the science instruction under the project 2061. It's quite famous. If you have read it properly, I think it will be a substantial support for you to make that understanding even more deeper. So these goals for science instruction under project 2061, NSF Washington has given in 4 ways. The first goal is that science must enhance each learner's personal development. Each learner, every individual, they have to have their personal development enhancement by learning the science. And goal 2, learner must understand the interrelationship of science, technology and society. So science is not only meant to study to pass the exams, but the learner must understand how the science and technology is related with the society, how the society is as a contributing factor for the growth and development of science and technology, and how the science and technology influences the society. So this has to be very, very clearly understood by the learner while learning the science in the school. And goal 3 is it's about that science must develop each learner's academic and process skills. Academically also, the child should be able to develop the required skills, and besides that to find out the new knowledge in the field of science. For that, certain processes are required, and those processes can become the skills to the children or to the learners. So these process skills and academic skills are to be developed while learning the science in the school. So fourthly, the science must help to expand each learner's career awareness. So science is to be taught in the school with the aim that it will help the learner to expand their understanding about their career awareness. It is related with the vocational importance. So now we will see this each goal in a more elaborated way. So goal 1, the science must enhance each learner's personal development. And this could be achieved when children will be able to understand and use new ideas and scientific information to improve their lives. So teacher has to make sure that the learner understand and use new ideas and new scientific information, and those ideas and scientific information help to improve their lives. So the science education has to be very related, very closely related to the life. It should be well knitted with the lives of the learners. The knowledge which is gained in the science, it should be useful for their day-to-day life. And the goal 1 also emphasizes in the development of different type of skills, and those skills will support the scientific inquiry. That means the learner, they should be able to make the scientific inquiry, and in that making the scientific inquiry, certain skills are to be developed. And thirdly, the goal 1 emphasizes on the development of problem solving skills, which is needed to respond to a changing society and environment. You know, our society is continuously changing, it is very dynamic, and even in the environment also, it is also not static, it is also in continuous process of changes. So as a result of these things, new problem will come across in the life, and our learners, they have to develop how to solve those problems, and for that certain skills are required, and these skills are to be developed in the school while learning the science. So here the science teacher has to take the responsibility to make sure that every children, every learner develop their problem solving skills, so that later on they will be able to respond to the dynamic society and the need of the dynamic environment. Fourthly, the goal 1 also emphasizes on the development of a positive attitude towards science that will encourage a continued interest and the learning. That means the science subject has to be very interesting. It has to be made very interesting to the learner. They have to have a positive attitude. They should liking it, doing the science, and this interest is to be maintained for the further learning. So science should not be a very difficult subject or dull subject that the students will start disliking it. It should not be. So the goal 1 is to make the science very interesting subject. So I think it is the responsibility of a science teacher. Then next is the goal 1 emphasizes on the development of the attitude and skills they need to become responsible consumers. So when the students are the learners, they are the members of the society, and being the members of the society, we consume many items in the scientific products. We consume the different things from the environment. So this teaching of science has to help the learner to develop a very healthy attitude and skill in such a way so that they become a responsible consumers. So all these goals, this goal number 1 and its emphasis in the different areas, now we can come to the conclusion that all this goal focuses on the ways to enhance students' personality. It's a personal development, their curiosity, their honesty, their self-confidence, ability to make decisions. They examine the values, they reason logically, and they also practice the ethics of science. So this is one of the very important goal of teaching of science in the school. As per NSF Washington under Project 2061. And goal 2, the learners must understand the interrelationship of science, technology and society. And here this objective will be achieved or attained by the learners if they become able to understand the interaction of science, technology and society. Secondly, the learners should be able to recognize that solution to one problem can create new problems, and that decision must consider the possible consequences for other community. So usually what happens in science, to resolve a particular problem, then one invention or the discovery will occur, and when that invention or particular devices it starts to use more and more, then again that will create a new problem. So the students should be aware of it. For example, like to preserve the vegetables and also the medicines for a longer duration at optimum temperature. These refrigerators were devised, and these refrigerators, too much of a use of this refrigerator has led to a problem of this and too much of chlorofluorocarbon in the atmosphere, CFC gases, and that has caused the problem of ozone layer depletions. So this way one problem is being solved, but the same solution might create a new problems. So children should be, or the students should be knowing about it. And the children or the learners should be able to recognize that data may be interpreted differently by different people depending on their values and experiences. And this in the nature of science only we have already dealt. Like after experimentation, the same type of experimentation, whatever finding comes, and that findings can be interpreted differently by different people. And that nature of the science is to be instilled in the mind of the learners in the school days itself only, so that they will develop a scientific attitude, open-mindedness. They become open to the new ideas. And this goal 2 further emphasizes that the learner, while learning the science in the school, they should be able to recognize how the advancements of science and technology has changed the lives of people in local level and national level and global level. This is simple. And similarly, when the science is being taught in the schools, the learner should be able to develop a kind of a sense of custodianship for the conservation of the environment. That means the collective responsibility of for the environment by the learners for a period of time, and that is to be instilled in the mind and intellect of the learner. So these are the goal 2 and its detailed areas. And goal 3, the science must develop each learner's academic and process skills. So this goal 3 has emphasized on the academic skills. When the children or the learner starts to learn science in the school, so they should be able to develop a knowledge and understanding of scientific principle and concept. So so many concepts, so many scientific principles are there in the science curriculum, and that those scientific principle and concept, the knowledge is to be gained by the learners, and not only knowing but also they should be able to understand it. And this is related with the second factor, that while learning the science, the learners must be able to develop attitude, scientific attitude, values, ethics of science to use as a basis for science related decisions. So, and this is related with the effective domain of the educational objectives. And the learners, they should be able to learn to think critically, creatively, and rationally, so that they can solve problems and promote lifelong learning. So this is very important. While learning the science, the children or the learners must be able to think critically, not simply mugging up or cramming certain definitions, but they should be able to think critically why it is so, how it had happened, the scientific phenomenon, and they can solve the problem creatively also. And when they solve the problem, they solve it rationally with proper reasoning, cause and effect, and it will promote lifelong learning. So if these skills, thinking skills critically, creatively and rationally, excuse me, and these are to be imbibed while teaching the science in the school. The learners also must develop process skill so that they can think scientifically. Process skills will deal it in detail later on. And the learner must be able to develop the psychomotor skills so that they can properly manipulate, handle equipment and instrument. In science, we have to make the use of various instruments to perform the experimentations, and how to handle them properly, how to manipulate those equipments properly. So these skills are to be developed. So this is the goal 3 emphasizes. And this we can say the goal 3 mostly focuses on the on what the learners need to know to become scientifically literate. And they should know the knowledge and understanding of the scientific principle and concept. They also have to develop their values, scientific attitude, and their thinking ability, and different process skills and different psychomotor skills. So these comes under the academic skills, and this will make the learner scientifically literate. So for this, the curriculum must include the knowledge, concept, principles and ideas of science. And besides that, in the curriculum, the attitude, values, ethics of science, critical thinking and problem solving, those type of activities are also to be incorporated. So this is about the goal 3. Now the goal 4. Science must help to expand each learner's career awareness. This is mostly about the vocational importance of teaching of science. If you remember the very first class, why the science finds a compulsory place in the school curriculum, there one of the reason was it's because of the vocational importance. So same thing has been highlighted under the Goal 4 of NSF Washington under the project 2061. Here this Goal 4, we say that the learners will have a wide range of career awareness, and that will be done like this way. When we teach the science in the school, the learner must be able to realize that science and technology are relevant to all fields of employment. Any kind of employment, any type of employment, there must be the use of science and technology. So the knowledge of science and technology is very, very important, and it is equally applicable in the different fields of employment knowledge. Secondly, the learner must be able to develop an awareness of occupational and professional opportunities in science with reference to women, minorities, and differently abled people. That means occupation and various types of occupation, various types of professional opportunities are available if this basic education in science is given to the learner, and those profession or opportunities, occupations can be adopted or by the woman, and when it is suitable for the woman, it is suitable for the minorities, it is suitable for the differently abled people also. Not only the normal, not only the scientist, or not only the male figure, even the woman also can come up with the different vocations and occupations or professions related to this science. So this is to be realized. Thirdly, while learning the science in the school, the learner must be able to develop an awareness of science requirements for occupations and professions. So different type of occupations and different type of professions, what type of science, which knowledge of the science is being required. So they should be able to be aware of it. Then they should be made to realize this fact. Fourthly, while learning the science in the school, the learner must be able to recognize that scientists and technicians possess a full range of personal characteristics and should not be stereotyped. And this is mostly like our imaginations. If you specialized in the science and technology, later on you have to have a life like wearing white coat, and most of the time you have to spend in the laboratory, like that type of imagination comes in the mind. But the teacher has the responsibility to make it very clear. Even the scientists, they also have a full range of personal characteristics. They are also human beings. They also have the life. They not only spend their life in the laboratory, they also live a normal life like other human beings. But at the same time, they will continue to do the various investigative works, research works also. The myth that the study of science means to become a scientist and to spend the life in laboratory. So this is to be clarified, this is to be broadened. And Goal 4 also talks about that if the science is taught in the school, then the learner will be able to become informed about the contributions a scientist make to the society. This is appreciation value. While learning the science in the school, the learner must be able to appreciate the contribution of the work done by the scientist for the betterment of the society. So that's why you can see in the textbook, in certain areas, and the life sketches of some scientists is being given, famous scientists is being given, and what is their main contribution in the field of science for the society. So that is also incorporated in the science curriculum. You can see in the science textbook about it. And sixth one is, while learning the science in the school, the learner must develop effective and positive work habits related to science. And this is related with the leisure time also, how to make the good use of the leisure time. So this knowledge of science will help the learners to develop positive work habits related to science, like during leisure time also they can do scientific activities, they can prepare some kind of the stain remover, they can prepare the inks, they can prepare soaps, they can prepare the albums of different types of leaves found in that locality, and different albums on the different types of flowering plant of their particular locality, and how to change all the waste organic materials into the best manure, no, and so on. There are so many beautiful tasks which can be learned by the learners while learning the science in the school, so that those skills of construction or making the things scientifically that will develop, that will help to have a very healthy habit among the learners. So these are the different goals which has been suggested by the NSF Washington under Project 2061. And all these goals of education are intended to be achieved by the time pupils leave the school and enter the society as responsible and efficient citizens. During their school years, they are in the process of developing the personal, social, and intellectual aspects of their personality. So this means all these goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, and goal 4, all these goals are intended to be achieved by every learner as they leave the school and enter the society as a responsible and efficient citizens. Like after class 10 or after plus 2, when the students return back to the society, they will be fully well equipped, very responsible and efficient citizens. They have the clear cut knowledge about their vocations, what professions they can adopt, and they are able to find out the relation between the science, technology, and the society. They are fully equipped with their academic skills, process skills, or investigative skills, and they also have a full knowledge and understanding of the scientific ideas and scientific knowledge. So with this intention, all these goals have been formulated, and we will see what type of goals or what types of aims and what type of guiding principles have been formulated to teach the science in the school in India in the next class. So today this much only. So the class is ended up with this Thank you.